do for our highest paying clients, they are these days are really fun. We start at 10:30 and we go till like 6:30, and they're full days. And we have lunch break, and but we go deep and we dive into a lot of stuff. You can see on the whiteboard we have been covering. We had two of those, but we were just going through training after training after training. But there's implementation, there's workshop, they're actually getting stuff done, building assets together. So it's really fun. But I had a conversation during lunch break that was really fascinating, and I wanted to share it with you because originally I started this vlogging system again because I wanted to journal. I knew that journaling was an important part of expressing my ideas and my thoughts and helping to heal through these childhood like wounds, or just understand more about how the human mind works and how we're able to operate and show up and heal from all these relationships as adults. And because the reality is we don't respond to the present, we're responding to the past and the things that have happened in our experience. So I like to journal. I'm not much of a writer. I don't really like to write my thoughts out. More of expressive. I like to verbalize my thoughts out. Also, I don't like talking to myself. That is a value that I abide by in life. So I'd rather talk to you, Tube, and to be able to express some of my ideas that I've been learning, and lessons that I've been thinking about, or philosophies of life, or processing some things I've been exploring. And it sounds like as I've been sharing some of these discoveries about healing and about how our minds work, I've noticed that people have responded well. And because I'm the type of person where I learn something cool, like the woman at the well, I want to go tell it to the world. I want everybody to know. This is so powerful, so insightful, because I believe one of the best ways to learn is to teach. And when you teach something, you get to learn it twice. So that's something that I've been loving lately. But as I've been learning a lot about how these adverse childhood experiences affect our beliefs and our identity and how we shape the world, and then also like these identities, like if I feel like I'm a failure, if I feel like I'm unlovable, or if I feel like I am unworthy or inadequate, then it starts showing up in a lot of my goals, whether it's starting a business, whether it's having conversations with other humans and the anxiety of talking to strangers or making new friends. Maybe it's like making friends at the workplace or being able to hold down a job, or maybe it's by like understanding our relationship with God and our Heavenly Father. It's just like at our identity, we don't see reality the way it is, we see reality the way we are, and this shapes so much of our experience. So I mean, actually, I wrote this on the whiteboard. This is something that I mentioned even with my coaching clients. I was talking about this, and for years I was talking about I gave an example. Let's say I'm fat, and if I'm fat, then why? Like, what is the cause of my overweight? Fat, sick, nearly dead. It's because I'm doing comfort food, and because I find comfort in food, then and I eat myself. Overeating causes overweight. So when I was 210 pounds short and borderline diabetic, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, 12 years old, having a heart attack, finding myself in the hospital. And then it's because I'm like going to Burger King and eating all you can eat burgers from these free Whoppers. So I'm finding comfort food. And as long as I'm eating comfort food, it's like, but the question is that the first cause? So let's say I have a goal to lose weight, but I'm having a hard time losing weight because I just find so much comfort in the food. Why? Because is that the cause of my fatness? Yes. But is it the first cause? No. The first cause is there's an emotion. There's a pain that I'm feeling. For me to have the need or the desire to be comforted and find that comfort in food instead of in God, that means that I feel uncomfortable with myself. I feel sad. I feel lonely. I feel isolated. I feel abandoned. I feel neglected. There's an emotional pain that is I'm experiencing that leads me to want to comfort for any addiction, any habit, every thing that I said that I wouldn't do and I don't want to do, but I continue to do, it's all because instead of saying like why the addiction, ask why the pain? Because every addiction is just a pleasure. It's seeking a counterfeit comforter to respond and replace to a pain that we're experiencing. So there's some sort of emotion. But then, all right, so the pain creates this the pleasure seeking or people pleasing or whatever it is. But is this the first cause of my fatness? No, but it is a cause. So then I go deeper and say, well, what's the cause of the pain? The all emotion, I want you to get this, friends. Every emotion that you ever experience is because of a thought. We have no emotions without thoughts. And what is a thought? A thought is a statement, it's a phrase, it's a belief that we have. And usually when we have these painful emotions, it comes down to a belief of I am. I'm a failure, I'm inadequate, I'm not helpful, I'm unworthy, I'm a failure, whatever, I'm unlovable, I'm broken, I'm fundamentally flawed. This I am thing, this something is what creates this experience. So the words are backwards, but you could follow my voice and you could understand what I'm saying. So I am is usually the thought. It's a sentence, it's words that you use. And then actually, you know what? I don't know if this will make a difference, but if I do it like this, is it backwards? Do you guys see it backwards when I go like that? Let me know in the comments, because maybe that makes a difference. Oh, it's better. Okay, cool. So then I'll explain it this way. That is great. Cool. Now, so every emotion that we feel is because of a thought that we think, and sometimes a lot of these thoughts start with like I am. So Genesis 1, I believe it's verse 28 or 29, it says, God talks about this concept of be, do, have. Be fruitful, do multiply, subdue, and replenish, and then have dominion over the earth. This was the first command God ever gave to man, was be, do, have. And so basically, everything that we have, every bondage we have, whether it's an addiction or an unhealthy habit or a sin that we're doing, everything, every curse that we have, every blessing that we have, is because of what we've done. We reap what we sow. We reap the fruit of our doing. So the doing is the cause of having, but what is the cause of doing? Every behavior is belief driven. So really being is the cause of doing. Doing is the cause of having. So if we want to change what we have, maybe it's we have a lack of finances, a lack of friends, a lack of focus, a lack of fitness, a lack of faith. Whatever we have to change what we do. To change what we do, we have to change who we believe that we are. And so for many years, I've okay, identity is the source, it's the first cause of all these things. But now I began to realize that identity is not the first cause. There is a cause for how we learned these beliefs about who we are, and it usually happened at an event. There was an event in childhood. There was an experience. It's not always in childhood, but there was an experience that we went through, and we came with a belief. We formed a belief of who we are. And trauma isn't what happens to you. Trauma is what happens inside of you as a result of what happens to you. So the trauma is a belief that we associated to that experience, and that's how we came to that conclusion. Like, for instance, I was born out of wedlock, so I figured, well, that means that I was a mistake, and if I was a mistake, that means that I am a mistake. So being born out of wedlock isn't of itself the traumatic experience or the traumatic event. Where the trauma happened is when I believed I am a mistake. And if I'm a mistake, that means I will do mistakes. And if I'm just going to do a bunch of mistakes, then I can't really have friends or have good things or have success or have health, because I'm just going to make a mess of my life, my health, my friendships, and people around me. I'm just going to have a bunch of curses. I'm just going to have lack and loss and failure because I am a failure and I am a mistake. That's where it happens. So what I've been realizing, let me switch this again. So what I've been realizing is the cool part about this, and this isn't really what I want to talk about during this time, but I wanted to give you that breakthrough because I wrote it differently today, and it was so fun to realize why this stuff actually happens. But what I want to do is I want to take this breakthrough, and as we can heal from this, and we can shift the perspective of how we view ourselves, and we can claim these promises in Christ, then I believe that we can accomplish new goals, new insights, new we could break habits that we've had a hard time breaking for years. We can form new habits. We could reach new goals, whether it's starting a business, whether it's like pursuing a ministry, whether it's speaking up on camera that we've been afraid to the whole time, whether it's talking to people and breaking through the social anxiety, whether it's like whatever our goal is, we can reach our goals as we address these lie identities that we've been believing. And so as a result of teaching this, whether it's through like my sermons at church, or whether it's been like coaching calls, or whether it's been these live videos, I've noticed that people have been responding well, but people reach out to me and they're like, I want to heal. I want to know how to do this. I want to experience this freedom. Or they're saying like, wow, your devotion's got to be incredible. It's got to be amazing for you to be coming to these conclusions and insights, and the intention and the awareness there. Like, you guys, I appreciate you watching these with me, and these going, like, listening to these journals, because as I mentioned, like, I'm not doing this for views or for like to try to hook an algorithm, but because this is just what I've been learning, and this is just what I'm going through and what I'm thinking about, and how this has been insightful to me. So the fact that you find this interesting, some people have been reaching out, I'm thinking, well, that's cool. I want to be able to expand who could be blessed by this too. And so the conversation that this afternoon was about, I see that there are people on this planet who are able to have these deep seated conversations with people publicly, like through an interview. Like Dr. Gabriel Mate, he's having interviews with people talking about their childhood traumas, or he's speaking at events where there's like 5,000 people, and he wrote a book called Myth of Normal, and I haven't read it, but the concept is that people think I had a normal childhood, but it's like, what is normal? Like, no one's had a normal childhood. We've all experienced an adverse childhood experience. We all have these childhood traumas of some form or another, and because like every chicken comes from a cracked egg. But he basically walks through in like 5 minutes. He shatters the belief that I had a normal childhood and there's nothing wrong with what went through, and just for the purpose of healing, because that lack of awareness, the first step of healing is awareness, and if we're not aware, we're not going to break through. So he does this with people on interviews, and they reach millions of people. He does it with live audiences where there's thousands of people. He's like, who here thinks that they had a normal childhood? Let's come up and let's have a conversation. And then they walk away empowered with the tools to actually heal from these unconscious, unaware, these driving factors that drive all of their decisions. Like 95% of our decisions in life are unconscious. And our unconscious mind is what's storing all the childhood memories and conclusions and stories that we've told ourselves. And that is like, that can be a scary thing, but that can also be a really empowering thing and exciting thing, because once we can start identifying what are those unconscious stories that have driven our life decisions, then we could bring it to our awareness, and now there's a framework, there's a tool, there's a system for being able to heal and go through that. And I was thinking, well, I like to be able to work with people, but I don't necessarily want to, I don't really want to have these conversations in closed doors, one-on-one, that are not recorded, just privately going through this, because I think there's a lot to do, and I don't see how that'd be the best use of my time, and I don't think it could, like, my heart is I want to make these resources available to people, and I know that having examples is really helpful. So I was thinking, what if there's a way that I can find people who are open or interested or willing to have this discussion, to heal and process through this, to either reach a goal or overcome a bad habit, and we could just talk authentically, knowing that this is going to be a live conversation. It will be recorded and it will be published. It'll be something that's a resource that other people are on this healing journey together we can learn and grow through. You don't have to share anything that you don't want to, but you can also find that healing through that process. And I'm thinking, if I could create a include as like a resource that people can be a part of or go to, it could be a place of a lot of healing, a lot of growth, a lot of opportunities. And I think that people who watch, maybe some won't be open or willing to do that, but they could be blessed by the videos who otherwise wouldn't if it was all through closed doors and never, like, nobody ever could watch um, or like hear or learn from it. In that conversation, praise God, is able to bless that soul. But there's other people who could be blessed that wouldn't be also. So I think about, I was talking to my mom, I was talking to Sherry, I was just thinking, like, how would I be able to do that? How would I be able to find people who would be interested in discussing this together so we can find real breakthroughs? And these breakthroughs, we can like share these breakthroughs with others, because I've had multiple people bring up how they want to heal from these and they haven't really been taught how, and there's been some unresolved issues, and some people have reached out to me. And so I want to create a library of resources along these lines, and I think it will be really good. I look forward to it, but I'm thinking, how can we structure it? So one, my mom suggested that I host like an event or do an event and let people know that if you come, we're going to be talking about this, and you may get an opportunity to be one of those selected that were able to break through, have these breakthrough moments, have people like sign up in advance to raise their hand, say, hey, I'm willing, I'm interested, I desire to do this, I'm open to exploring together so that I could like heal and grow, and I know that other people can be blessed by it too. So I'll let them, and just making sure it's all like clear up front so that if both parties agree, they can do it. And I've seen that there's a variety of people who've been able to have these breakthrough interventions before thousands or literally millions of people online. So I just think that if I'm able to make this room or this environment or this platform that people can join or participate in, and I think it'll be greater good. It'll be more expansive than just having one-on-ones in a closed door that nobody else hears again. I think that it'll be more far-reaching. It'll be more impactful to provide that. So we continue the conversation, and so far what we've concluded that makes the most sense is maybe having either a weekly or a bi-weekly, every other week, like events like on Zoom where people can join. You could register to attend, and eventually the conversation morphed where it's not just like one-on-one, but it's actually like a group call on Zoom. People can join, but I'm having a one-on-one with a person. There's going to be like a spotlight for each person who's going through that experience, but there's also like an audience on Zoom that they're able to observe or hear, and we get to embrace that experience together. It is recorded, and then and it's or live streamed for like 60 minutes. It's like a 90-minute session, but 60 minutes we go through that breakthrough and we capture that, and at the end of 60 minutes we like turn it off, the live stream, but we continue the recording for the people local, and maybe the last 30 minutes go through like break the fourth wall, in the sense that reward the people who show up live and let them know, could we invite family members? How can we involve people who we know could benefit? Yes, that's the goal. We want you. I would love you to be able to invite family members and people you think could benefit. They can come on Zoom, and they would be like flies on the wall observing the experience and breakthroughs. They could raise their hand and participate. It'll be free. If they want to like add a queue, we can have people apply to be one of those people that we're able to like walk through. And I realize, like, instead of just like diving straight into childhood traumas, let's start with a goal, knowing that we're going to address and uncover some childhood wounds, but like start with what is the goal that we want. Like maybe it's a deeper relationship with our spouse, maybe it's starting a new business, or maybe it's having a closer walk with God, or maybe it's losing weight, or maybe it's an addiction that I'm trying to overcome. But we can pick an objective and then work our way through and find breakthrough through that. And so for the first 60 minutes, we're going to break through and make it free, and people can apply. I'll probably create a form that people can like access or get into, or raise their hand and say, I want to be one of those people to be considered for selection. And then we'll schedule it. And if it's weekly, bi-weekly, then people can participate. They show up and join. And then when at the end of the 60 minutes, we shut it off. The live stream is off. That's what gets public. And then the last 30 minutes, I break the fourth wall in the sense that I explain to the people there, now let me talk to you about what just happened. Why did I cover it that way? What are the tools? What are the techniques? What are the principles, the biblical insights? Like why, like give the labels and describe how it worked, why it worked, especially for those that are not aware of it. Maybe they want to influence others. Maybe they want to influence themselves. And I'll share with them how they can apply this tool to their life, how they can apply this tool to their spouse, how they could do this. Maybe they want to transform people. Maybe they want to be more effective in the coaching that they give or the influence or the people that they advise or mentor or their professional field. It might be relevant, whatever the case is. But the last 30 minutes is basically like the how to do what I just did. And that conversation could be cool. Maybe even open up for like question and answers or like ahas or like with people, they observed a concept. They're like, what was that? Like, unpack that. Tell me why was that effective? Because they were really resistant for a moment and then they were receptive and they were excited. What did you do? And then I could like break down the why behind the what, if you understand what I mean. And that full recording would probably go into a course that those who want to be trained, those who want to be equipped, those who want to like have that skill and do something serious with it, they can get a library of the 90-minute sessions with the how-tos, but the 60-minute portion will be free, available, and also could be in a library that people can go through like a playlist or see examples, but we can make those available so people can observe and be blessed through that experience and provide an optional path for people who want to be equipped to know how to actually deliver these breakthroughs to people. I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. That wasn't the original thought, but having a group that we can do that with, if we had that kind of platform, that would be something meaningful, enjoyable, something that I see myself being able to maintain. And I see that as something that would be fun. So right now, where I'm at with this idea is I'm just thinking of like a who do you know list. Who do you know that could be blessed? First of all, who do you know that would be interested in actually going through that type of experience? How many of you that are listening would be open to maybe getting on a Zoom call like that with me, and we can have a conversation to talk about a goal that you have and we can explore what holds you back or what are the beliefs about this, and we could just, the goal is awareness, clarity, understanding, and imparting and giving people that opportunity. How do we share with them so they'd be interested? Yeah, that's a great question. Some of that we're going to have to work on. Maybe this video would explain the vision a bit. Maybe there's other videos. I might be able to create a landing page for it, like a quick website that explains the objective and an application form that we can have people opt in. Something along those lines is what I'm thinking. But at any rate, it's just like, for me right now, I'm thinking like, who do you know that one would be interested in getting on the call with me? That could be the spotlight. And two, who do you know that would be blessed? Who do you know that would be interested in being a fly on the wall or being in the room or maybe even watching the video afterwards? Maybe some people, they want to watch and see what, like, as they are blessed by that and they watch one after another and they just see the safety, the non-judgment, they see the breakthrough, they see the healing, they see the joy through the process, they see the fruit, and they're like, I want that, sign me up for that. And that might be something that people will grow through. And you might find that as you're listening to an experience, 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, there is no temptation taking you, such as is common to man, which means that other people have gone through the same experience that you have. There's no problem, there's no struggle, there's no traumatic experience that other people haven't broken through from as well. So by finding, maybe we'll cover a topic that would resonate with someone else that you know, and maybe they'd like to watch that video, and that could be a start. But at any rate, that's where I'm at right now. Been thinking about it a lot. that's I think it makes sense to be able to open up the door for more service to bless other people. So if you want to help, just think about who would be interested, and I'll put this video available. You can share it with them to see if they'd like to be a part of this. You can I'll probably create a page and an application, one for people to register, and another one if they want to choose to be spotlight their experience, that we can have a conversation. I'll figure out how to make that tool available too. If you enjoyed this video, hit like. And some of you have said that you want to be notified when I go live. YouTube actually gives you a notification when you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It doesn't notify you when I go live unless you click like give notifications. You have to like turn on the bell, or you have to turn on to get all the notifications when I go live. So when you do that, then when I go live again, you'll be able to get noticed. And it says, "This is needed. I look forward to seeing the vision come to fruition." Me too. I look forward to that. So if you want these notices, don't only subscribe, but also like smash that like button and turn on notifications. That will help you a lot to get the push. Your phone will tell you when I'm like, "Hello, I'm here again," because they're not daily. I don't have it at the same time. I really just do it. I just got done with my implementation workshop. It was all day. And I'm about to take off my bow tie, so that's kind of my trigger. Whenever I want to take this off for the day, that's where I want to do one last live and then recap. So anyways, that's what I'm covering today. Thank you so much for watching, friends, and I'll keep this short and sweet. But remember, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Have a great day, and God bless.